Hello again, Colin Sandy here from Sandy Audiovisual, and today we're looking at the ATEM Television Studio Pro HD. It's a live production switcher for broadcast, professional, and AV users, and has HDMI and SDI inputs, multi-view, talkback, DVEs, an audio meter, flash media players, and of course the Blackmagic software to control all of the above. Now, if you've seen some of my recent videos, you've known that I've said I'm not going to do any more unboxings, unless, of course, the box itself was phenomenal. And this is the first time I think I've seen a handle on one of Blackmagic's boxes, which is good if you're really on a budget and want to save a buck, and you want to wait a while before getting a custom flight case for this, and you plan to use it in a portable setting. Keep the box. It has a handle on it, and it's well padded. So, enough of that. Anyways, we have a bunch of these in stock. It's the Labor Day weekend. Contact me. The information is below. 202-505-4728, or email us at info@savweb.com, also below in the comments. Alrighty, so let's take a look at this one. Well, back here you see I have the box of the ATEM Television Studio HD, the quote-unquote non-pro version. Alright, and it's a marvel too, and people really like those. So, let's see here. The open to the side, nice, big, beefy styrofoam here. And excuse me a second while I take this out of the box. Okay, I'm guessing either the software or, yeah, we have the software and the manual on an SD card. Keep that handy. We've already used the Television Studio HD. You should be pretty familiar with this, so we shall, here it is. Now, one thing that's spectacular about the switcher, other than the price, it's just around $2,200 US, is the industrial design. Right? It is an absolutely gorgeous video switcher. Okay. So, I mean, my favorite shot is here of the side panel. You know, kind of looks like a high-end race car or something. It's pretty cool. Let's look at the business end first. Okay, so from left to right, here's something that's really neat, which really makes it a pro switcher, is that it has a 12 to 30 volt, 3 amp, 4-pin XLR connector here on the back. And you're like, what's that for? Well, anyone who's used broadcast equipment know that pretty much everything is powered by one of these. So let's take a little walk into the warehouse here. I know I have one sitting around. Here we go. I know this looks like it escaped from the 1980s. Right, it's the IDX power supply here, and this pretty much powers all of our broadcast gear. And there's enough stuff just lying about that I didn't have to stage anything. So there's a broadcast camera, and you'll see right here, right, you have a 4-pin power connector, right? Whether it's a Panasonic, Sony, Hikigami, what have you, they'll have those in the back. So you can take one of these, right, and essentially have a redundant power supply for your switcher. You know, you'd plug the D plug here into mains, and plug this one into your broadcast 1980s looking power supply, and away you go. So just to show you how that connects, we have here, right, 4-pin XLR, and right, just plug right into there, and of course plug the other side of this 1980s looking box into the wall, and you have power. Now, one thing you didn't see in the box was, guess what? A power cord. Blackmagic started doing that some time ago. They figured, you know, they're selling these globally, and everyone's going to have this end looking the same, but the other end is going to be different for Europe and Asia and North America and Africa, what have you. So they don't bother. Most people, if they've been using computers for a while, could probably pick one of these up for 1 or 2 cents, or they have a pile of them like we do in the back, and you know, just plug it in there. So power on the left, control. We have an Ethernet port here at the top for updating your software. This is not for a built-in encoder, and I say that with some emphasis because I've gotten at least 10 phone calls asking about the new ATEM Television Studios and whether or not they have an encoder built in, that some people have told them, or that they swear it does, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It does not have a built-in encoder. This USB port is for updating the firmware only. Here you have a remote connector, which is a mini DIN, and you have your HDMI inputs. And you'll see here a whole bunch of BNC connectors, right? The top row are outputs, the bottom row are inputs, and you have 4 of them, right? Plus an aux out, right? You also have a multi-view out on BNC, so it's HD SDI, and you also have a multi-view out on HDMI, and just like, and I guess I could have brought it, but the picture will do. Just like the smaller version has the HDMI and the SDI multi-viewer, which is good. You know, also similar, and you can see the similarities, just, you know, the back of this, the back of the other one. Really the big difference is the addition of that Pro power connector, right? So really the differences are on the ends. Still going from left to right. You have your analog in, your XLR. These are for audio. So your channel 1, channel 2 XLR. And then you have these what look like 1/4-inch jacks, but they're not. Well, the one on top is a 1/4-inch. The one at the bottom is actually smaller. This is for your talkback connector. Okay, this is equal to this on the smaller one, except on the rackable version, it's on the front, and here on the Pro version, it's on the back. So really on the ends, everything's identical on the back except for the talkback connector on the left end and the XLR power connector on the right end. Okay. So what else is different, of course, it's a beautiful console, and it's considerably heavy. I mean, it is beautifully built. Now, the first thing I'd recommend you do is get the firmware update for this switcher. You know, if you disregard all else, get the firmware update for this one reason: the slider. In prototypes and in early versions, the linearity of the slider was kind of strange if you're used to kind of switching just with a manual fader, right? They fixed that. Now it has a more natural progression between source A and source B, right? Another big difference between this and the other panel, encoders for your audio. You can actually set your audio levels, right, for your first 8 sources right here on the panel itself. And this is something that I'm not sure how I feel about these. It's neat, and if you've used a lot of the standalone switchers like the old Rolands and that sort of thing, they had these lovely buttons for the different white patterns. Whether you need that these days, I don't know how much it adds to the cost of this unit, but given the price point, maybe not that much. Like I said, it's neat, but I could think of other things you could do with a whole bank of buttons, but it looks cool. Moving to the top left, all right, we have your talkback section here to select which camera you want to talk to, right? And kind of your color correction section right in here. It's kind of like a mini Da Vinci panel, right? So you have your tiny little trackball for color correction. You also can adjust your levels, and right here, and I'm getting kind of hard to shoot it, so let me read it out. It says iris, focus, and zoom. So that is for a PTZ control. So you can actually control your PTZ camera with the ball and use the encoders for zoom, focus, and iris. Right? It also has a built-in screen here, just like the ATEM Television Studio HD. The ATEM Television Studio Pro HD maintains the same screen with encoder knob right beside it, so you could select menu items, right? And then of course your aux menu is set just like the smaller version. Is it plastic? Nope. It's very, very solidly built. This thing's excellent. I mean, if it came out at $4,000, say a year ago, people probably wouldn't have blinked and said, oh, okay, I get that. It's cheaper than the 1ME panel, but it's a full switcher, has color correction in it, it has PTZ control, it has built-in talkback, it has an audio mixer, it has professional broadcast switching buttons, it has a mini fader on it, it has a built-in screen. Yeah, I guess that's a value, but at $2,200, this thing is a steal. And again, if you're looking for one, we have them in stock. info@savweb.com, or give us a call, 202-505-4728. And that's about it. We're going to fire this up and play with it. I imagine it's just about the same as the ATEM Television Studio HD, but with this lovely control surface and this ergonomic and beautifully styled enclosure, it should be a joy to use.